I wanted to make this video to teach you or bring into your awareness the ways that you can use game design in establishing a sustainable allyship practice. So there are a few elements that anyone who's going into game design has to understand as far as making their games something that someone's gonna have a good time interacting with. And before I dig really into that, I really want to bring up the idea of what is a game? This comes up a lot, seeing as the course that I've created is called Mastering the Game of Allyship. So a game for me is overcoming unnecessary obstacles in the spirit of play. And I think that this takes care of most of what you're gonna need to understand about games. So the unnecessary part is key. If you have to play, you're not playing. If you're being forced to play, you're not playing. And so any situation in which you don't feel like you have any options and you don't have any sort of choice isn't going to be something that you're gonna feel that spirit of play or get into those necessary flow steps to make meaningful change into your life. And this is really the case that a lot of people find themselves when dealing with their allyship practice. So I'm going to talk to you about these sort of 4 or 5 elements of games and then specific ways that you can bring it into your allyship practice, because really what we want to do is empower people. And empowered people are the ones who have choice. And again, you can see how this connects. If you have an unnecessary obstacle, you don't have choice. If you have a necessary obstacle, you don't have choice. If you have an unnecessary obstacle, it means that you're choosing to participate in the game. And so this is why this reframe is so powerful. So the first thing is to reward yourself. This is something that a lot of people do not like to do, especially around the discourse around allies looking for cookies. So we're saying is not don't have a reward. We're saying don't go to the people who you're trying to help to reward you. That reward should be enough on its own. But if you're going to try to install new habits, beliefs, behaviors into your life, you're gonna have to find a way to reward yourself that your parts are going to get on board with. This is really essential. If you can find a way to show up to your allyship practice in a way that connects to a meaningful reward for you, that's most of the work. The next thing is to increase competency. So that's key. Develop some skills, learn some stuff, but don't do what most people do, which is just keep learning things and taking in more knowledge and not putting it into practice, because you can't tell if you're competent until you've done something into practice. So many people have gained competency in learning, but that doesn't translate into meaningful results for people trying to be allies. So what you have to do is actually you have to find your limit and then keep going past it. Luckily, it's pretty easy to find your limit. Your limit is always going to be the degree of fear and discomfort that you can handle while still having fun. This is the key for a game, which leads us into our second one, which is challenge yourself. By increasing your competency, you challenge yourself. And game designers know exactly how hard to make a game that will provide that level of challenge that will keep people engaged, but not so much that it takes away the fun. So if you have enough self-awareness as to what your limit is and you can make a game of continuing to push that, you don't have to worry about the results. The results will emerge. You just have to keep pushing past your comfort zone. And the key is tracking that. And the key is getting really specific about that. So the next thing that you want to do is make it fun. Now, this seems easy, but actually a lot of people don't know consciously what's fun for them. They know it while they're having it. Maybe you suggest certain things, they look at the field of what other people consider to be fun, and they can kind of map themselves there, but really dig down and figure out what are the things that you love the most that are always fun, and take the time to do the creative process to find ways to take that type of fun and apply it to the skills and lessons that you're trying to apply to real life in your allyship practice. This is key, the making it fun. If you can make it fun, you'll keep showing up to it. If you can increase your competency, that in its own way with the challenge will make it more fun. All of these principles actually align with themselves. So, and again, it's fun to get rewards, so make it fun, get rewards, increase your competency. And now here's 2 ones that are really key. Play with friends It's always fun when you do it with friends. So anytime that you're trying to show up as an ally, you might as well do it as a group. The key is to have your friends also be challenging themselves, pushing themselves further. The downside of this is sometimes people will create these accountability groups, but because everyone's afraid of hurting people's feelings or not being challenged, they'll kind of create these self-sustaining loops. But if everyone in the group that you're playing together is committed to pushing themselves a little bit farther, and if everyone is committed to pushing each other a little bit farther, that'll be key. And that'll increase the competency, and the reward itself will be hanging out with the homies. And the final one is the biggest one: make mistakes. Your job as an ally is not to show up perfectly. Your job as an ally is to collect data on how to increase your effectiveness as an ally, and you're only going to get that information by making mistakes. This is why doing it with friends is good. If you make a mistake with a group, you can get feedback from people who aren't going to want to get rid of you. You'll get a bunch of different perspectives that will help you move into the right way, and it'll just feel safer for you to make mistakes. But the key is that you still have to make them. If you're not making mistakes, if you're not screwing up, you're probably not doing it right. You're probably not increasing your competency. So be on the lookout for that in your allyship practice. And so between making it fun, rewarding yourself, increasing your competency, making mistakes, playing with friends, you've got these principles that you can use to design your allyship practice to be more like a game. So let me know how that works for you. Let me know what you think about it. Go ahead and hit subscribe. And if you're ready to master the game of allyship, we've got a whole course designed with game mechanics in mind to find access to your parts, to bring them online so that you can create a sustainable, fun allyship practice. And you get to play with friends because everyone in the container is already decided that they're willing to do that work and challenge themselves. So most of the stuff gets taken care of if you join us on this mission. But if you were to just do these things on your own, you'll find that your allyship practice totally transforms.